to join the Marine Corps, I had to try to improve myself in a number of ways. In the military and in life. You're a better first-hand you than you are second-hand someone else. The people who really thrived were the people who could really be 100% present. Yeah, most of what we do here sucks, but that's the whole point. And a positive attitude ripples outward. But if you say, no matter what I'm doing, if it's hard and you frame it as a learning experience, then nothing here is pointless. Nothing. What? Even if you're starting to feel resistance at mile 1 of the marathon, it doesn't matter, because we're going to keep pushing. Freaking cold out. Ran all the way to the PFT sign, and there was a time in my life, probably pretty recently, that I would have turned around before I even reached it. But I said, oh, I'm there, it's time to turn around. And today I said, we're gonna touch that sign, because we're done taking shortcuts. Those days are over. This, for the record, is why Marines are successful even when they go into fields that they were not technically trained for at their primary schools, where Marines are taught infantry skills, whether that be engineering or finance. Despite not having any technical preparation for those jobs at those primary schools, the Marines are taught work ethic.
That just sets the Marine Corps apart, because when the times get tough, the Marines get tougher.
It is 3:45 a.m. on the day of, heading out to the airport soon. Nerves are hitting now, but I'm still ready. Oh man, this is that. I guess I'll touch base with you guys in 6 weeks. The feeling of sitting at this duty desk alone, early in the morning, knowing I'm somewhere challenging myself every day, is better than the feeling of any vacation, any kind of food, any scenery. There's purpose here. There's calling. To think back to where I was just a few years ago, waking up early in Santa Monica to try and prepare myself for a life in the military, knowing I wanted more out of myself, is surreal at times. I didn't know what the military would be like, but I knew it was, and always would be, an avenue of challenge and self-betterment. I have learned, and am learning so much, and this is just the beginning of the journey. No matter what happens, I will take these experiences with me forever. Infantry skills, though necessary for protecting our country and defeating the enemy, are a metaphor, a vehicle for larger life lessons. When I say that I would rather be there standing duty at a military school than eating good food or taking a vacation somewhere, what I'm really getting at is that those things are distractions. Whereas in an environment like this, you're really discovering meaningful truths about yourself. Back when I sat down in June of 2021 and talked to you about the ways that I wanted to improve myself, I can safely say that I have seen improvement in every aspect that I described, and I continue to face challenges every day that better me. Every day holds up a mirror to you and shows you what you're made of, what your philosophy is like, and as that facade slowly wills away through your interactions with other people, through your being put through physically and mentally challenging situations, it becomes harder and harder to ignore who you really are. The hikes at TPS were such a great metaphor because the hikes are long and you have so much time to reflect and contemplate on what you're doing while you're on the hikes. Specifically, as the hikes become longer and longer, they range from 3 miles to 6 miles to 9 to 15. I did not like hiking, but I learned to love what it acted as a vehicle for. We had our next Vex hike the 6 miler, and it was brutal. But this is everything. If you can win that internal battle, even when your thoughts are not on your side, even when your thoughts are telling you, I can't do this. Because you're going 15 miles at a fast walk. That means that for a couple of hours, you will be doing nothing but walking with heavy weight on your back. Probably getting blisters on your feet, having to muster more and more of yourself in order to get through the last couple of miles. And in the absence of music, anyone saying anything motivational to you, that is where you start to see the importance of self-mastery. That is where you really start to see the importance of denying yourself your comforts. And that's where it really becomes life or death if you want to complete this event. You have to learn to say no and to push against your boundaries. I think the most successful hike I had at TBS was the 12-miler. I remember the night before that hike, I was just going for a walk, and then I said to myself, something that took me a long time to realize, years of listening to motivational speakers before doing something hard, is that none of them can help me. By all means, learn from other people, but all this listening to David Goggins before a hike, he can't help me. I'm the only one tomorrow that can put one foot in front of the other until the finish line. Yes, there are so many people that inspired me throughout this journey, but in the same vein of my captain's advice as far as it being yourself, you also have to learn how your mind works and how to succeed in the face of challenges. Because there really is no one-size-fits-all solution to challenge. You have to learn how your mind works. You have to experience what it's like to fail and then to overcome and then fail again and then think that you finally fixed yourself and then fail again. And then over this process of acclimation, develop a confidence that is brought from humility. This is what I learned from walking for 15 miles. While the graduation from TBS was much different than the graduation from college or my commissioning, in the sense that it was less of a big emotional moment and more of a kind of weight off of my back, it was pretty bittersweet for me. I'm actually beginning to get pretty sad about the fact that this school is coming to an end sooner than later, because for the longest time this was it. And I don't know where I'm going from here. I just know that I wanted to find more in myself. I would say that two of the biggest takeaways from TBS were humility and a better understanding of the importance of selflessness. Selflessness is a habit. You train yourself to continually put others before yourself in comfort, in service. There's a scripture that says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves." This is what we were really beat over the head with, for a lack of better phrasing, at TBS. You really see it come into play when you're surrounded by a bunch of very talented leaders who are competing to be the most selfless. It's really eye-opening. I'd be lost without you. So TBS is now over. It's crazy to say. There was a time when TBS was just that mysterious school that nobody actually knew anything about out in the ether that I might get to on the off chance that I graduate OCS. So to be done with it is pretty wild. For now, I want to wrap up with some closing thoughts on TBS. One of the mantras that we were told by our training staff, which were incredible, was, "This is the last time that it's going to be about you." And while I get what they mean by that, I actually found it interesting, because TBS is where I learned that it wasn't about me. TBS is really where I learned that the only way you succeed is by making it about others. And the fastest way to ensure your own demise is by making it about you. As I said earlier, selflessness is a habit. Servanthood is a habit. The less you think about yourself and the more hours you spend sacrificing your own time and your own comfort and your own energy for others, the better of a leader you are. That math is pretty simple, and I don't think it's ever changed.
I want to go ahead and thank the people in my platoon who I had the pleasure of working with over the last 7 months. You are all incredible, and I'm proud to say that I know you and that I've learned something from each of you. I think one final lesson that I might use to wrap all this up is that you really do have to trust the process. One thing I've learned is that each school in the Marine Corps that I've been through has achieved exactly what it was meant to and prepared me for the next stage. So, the more you sacrifice for others, the better. The more you sacrifice for others, the more rewarding it is in all truth. This is it.